Then, of course, we have 7, the Chariot. This is a precursor to the wisdom that is about to arrive, and 7 in numerology is wisdom and intelligence, but it also represents speed, as does the Chariot. Alright, welcome back everyone to Tarot Academy. I'm Spencer, your host as always, and today, rather than the traditional pick-a-card reading format, we are actually going to detail the journey of the Fool, the 0 card, the beginning, all throughout the major arcana, ending finally at 9, the Hermit, the Wise Man. Now, many of you have gone through, have booked a private reading with me, have watched my videos for some time now, and you see how much I incorporate numerology into each of my individual readings. And many of you have asked me to do some videos explaining this, so that's what we're going to cover throughout the coming series here. I'm going to be doing a lot more numerology involved with my tarot readings, but today I thought I would walk you through the journey of the Fool through to the Hermit or the Wise Man. Now, the major arcana, it details human life, right? The journey from birth to death, right? So we're all born into this world helpless infants. We're not weak and we're not stupid. That is far too much to state. Rather, it is we're just babies. Like there's nothing that can be said about it. We're helpless infants, and then we grow into adults. We make mistakes. We learn. We become wise along the way. But the tarot, the major arcana, it simplifies the human journey in a way that's truly remarkable, and that I want to share with you here today. So I'm going to go through each individual card from 0 to 9, so 10 total cards, detailing the human journey and how it can relate to you, how it can help you. And finally, if you want to learn more, or if you want to book a private reading, you can click the link down below. I have a few spaces available. I've been just slammed because of COVID. Everybody seems to want to know what their career future is going to be. Things are looking up for the most part, for most people in fact. So let's begin without further ado. Now, card number 1 is actually card number 0, ironically enough. And I imagine that when tarot was first laid down roughly 100 years ago, the decision was to start with 1. However, it actually makes more sense to start with 0, because in the beginning of every journey, the sum of our knowledge is always 0. Whether it's birth or the undertaking of a new hobby, such as music production, for example. If you're not a musical person, you probably know nothing about it. So you are the fool, the musical fool, right? And I think we'll stick with the musical theme throughout this explanation, as it's something we can all understand to a face value degree, but we probably don't know anything about music theory. And if you went to university for this, probably turn this off, because I'll make your ears bleed with my inaccuracies on musical knowledge. Because I am the musical fool, right? So this is birth, adolescence, and early childhood, right? The beginning of the journey, that is why it is 0 in the major arcana. We move on to 1, the Magician. This is male energy, phallic energy, and regardless of your gender, you embody this, because this is the beginning of the journey, the beginning of asserting oneself in the world merely by existing, merely by breathing, merely by consuming resources. You make your presence known to your parents, to those around you, to the world at large. Now, this is still a youthful card. He has everything he needs to begin on his journey: a sword, a cup, a pentacle, and a wand, each from the major suites, or from the 4 suites in the arcana. He bears a serpent around his midriff. Now, the serpent belt, snakes often indicate evil, but in this case, the serpent indicates wisdom. And then, of course, we have the infinity symbol above the head in the crown chakra position, indicating infinite potential and the infinite impact one may have upon the world, as well as the infinite soul. Finally, a wand or a candelabra, is raised in the left hand of the magician, indicating the beginning of his path, and that's a hidden 1 energy, by the way. We also have a tree in the background at full bloom. Spring is afoot here, spring, the season of life. Also, this is a 1. 1 in numerology indicates leadership energy, beginnings energy. 1 life paths are typically leaders, CEOs, prime ministers, presidents, etc. Even right down to the high school football team captain. Heavy 1 energy. And if you're wondering about zero, zero has no placement in numerology. There is no zero value. Moving on to number 2, we have the High Priestess. This is female energy. 2 in numerology is female energy. It is peaceful energy. It is the Gandhi number. And for those wondering, there is actually no such thing currently as a 2 life path. It's actually a hidden 11 now. The last 2 life path would have had to have been born, I believe, in the late 1800s or so early in the 1900s no one is currently alive anymore. Joe Biden is a 2 life path, but he's not. He's actually an 11 life path. So 2s are hidden 11s. 2s are peace, but 11 is emotion, heavy emotional energy, heavy female energy as well, present in the 11s, and the 2s, which is represented here by the High Priestess. She is, of course, the bearer of secrets, the bearer of duality, and the choice that one must make on their path in the life. Now, we see a crescent moon before her, a script in her hand, and 2 pillars behind her. The 2 pillars indicating duality, good, evil, life, death, the scroll representing knowledge or wisdom, and the moon representing the darker path. Now, of course, it is the fool who turns into each of these people. The fool becomes the magician, who then advances and becomes the High Priestess, who then advances and becomes the Empress, right? Forget about your gender, it's irrelevant. For the purpose of this story, one goes through the entire human experience, male energy, female energy, it doesn't matter. It's all irrelevant because the human experience is one of duality, of multipolarity. Just because you're a man does not mean you should not embody the qualities of women, and because you are a woman does not mean you should not embody the qualities of a man. We all have to live with a balance of duality. So, the High Priestess becomes the Empress. You see, you've gone from the Fool from knowing nothing. 1 + 2 = 3, right? So now we're at 3. The Empress. Now the Empress is pregnant. She's always pregnant. And it doesn't matter, it's not about being pregnant with a child, rather it's about being pregnant with an idea. The Empress is now pregnant with the knowledge of the Magician and the High Priestess. She has some inkling of the world and the world around her, and the knowledge of these 2 forms the foundation and the baseline, leading all throughout the rest of the journey, all the way up to number 9. You see, 0 + 1 is 1, 1 + 2 is 3, 3 is part of 6, right? 3, 6, 9, the perfect trine, the perfect triangle. 3, 6, 9. That's going to be important later, and I might get into it, depending on how much time this takes. So the Empress, she's wizened, she's pregnant with an idea, and she is self-confident in her position, in her rank, and her ability to influence the world around her, based on the foundational knowledge of the Magician and the High Priestess. So, let's move on to the Emperor. Important card here. So the Emperor is one asserting themselves in adulthood, closer to, say, well, I don't need to give a specific age range, it doesn't really matter, but 4 is the number of law, order, justice, tyranny, strength. What qualities would an emperor embody? All of those, certainly. Now, the emperor is aware of the effort it takes to maintain a throne. He sits upon a throne. His boots are heavy. This man does not move. He is set in his ways. And there will be a time in all our lives where we are all set in our ways. And the emperor embodies this. By the way, 3 in numerology is often a number associated with creation, with certain criminal or negative elements as well, but that's more catered towards a specific individual. However, it can also be a number of lies, and the Empress could very well be pregnant with a lie she is telling herself or that society has told her. And it's fascinating that we have the High Priestess, who is a card of secrets, combined with the Empress, card of knowledge and a bearer of knowledge. You get 2 + 3 is 5. 5 represents the Hierophant here. Now, the Hierophant is the card of the established order, the card of the divine truth, so to speak. We have here a pope depicted. 2 priests bowing down, bearing reverence to the pope. He has here the sign of kings, the sign of authority, this sign. When people in power speak with authority, they make that sign. Observe any speech Queen Elizabeth gives. You will see she speaks with that sign. as does Pope Jorge Bergoglio. I forget the name, what his papal name is. I can't remember for some reason. Terribly embarrassing. I should pause this video, go find out, and then say, but truth be told, I don't care. So 5 in numerology is beauty and travel. Regardless of your opinions of religion, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, whatever, it doesn't matter, you will find all their temples to be quite beautiful, right? And you'll find their message has traveled the entire world. There are nearly no atheist states in the world. Very, very few. Now, what is religion but beauty and travel combined, as well as the message? Whether it's true or false is totally irrelevant. That is the energies the Hierophant embodies and the 5 embodies. Moving on to 6, the Lovers. 3, 6, 9. Remember, 3, 6, 9. It's an important trine we'll get into after. Anyway, 6 is the number of the family. What do we have? How do we get to 6? We have 1 plus 2 here, male energy, magician, plus female energy, high priestess, equals 3, a pregnant woman. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 6 is the number of the family, the number of union, the number of love. 6 in numerology, if you look at the numeral 6, the Arabic numeral, not the Roman numeral, you would in fact see it almost does look a bit like a pregnant woman, a 6. Wife, mother, husband, father, divine union. This scene here depicts the Garden of Eden, of course, which isn't necessarily relevant to our discussion. But the Fool has gone through many things, right? He's learned from the magician, formed his understanding of life, learned that life can in fact be quite harsh, that there are many lies propagated, that there is solace in the family, in unity with others, love, for example. Then of course we have 7, the Chariot. This is a precursor to the wisdom that is about to arrive, and 7 in numerology is wisdom and intelligence, but it also represents speed, as does the Chariot here. Remember, we have similar themes to the High Priestess, a 2, right? We have, what is the trine for 2? Is it 2, 5, 7? No, it's 2, 4, 6. Yes, that's a little bit advanced. I'm not getting into that. But anyway, the Chariot. So, speed. Life is accelerating at this point, right? You've gathered the wisdom and the knowledge that you really need, but now you're moving forward. The duality, you've recognized it, you've harnessed it, and the understanding of life now propels you forward in a chariot of your own design. This is where life really starts to work for the Fool, rather than the Fool working for life. We move on to the 8th card. 8 in numerology is wealth and karma. 8 here is strength. We see a woman holding a lion. Heavy Leo energy here, heavy Virgo energy here. Now this woman has the strength to move forward. She has learned from the past. The Fool has learned. He bears all prior experiences here for his final test. There's not much more to be said about strength, but the final test, we move on here, it's the Hermit. Right? The Hermit represents the full embodiment of wisdom, strength, love, secrets, mastery of all. The Hermit is 9. 9 is the final number in numerology, the number of completion and destruction. He is an old man now, the Fool, and he will die soon. Simple as that. There's nothing more to be said about it. The Hermit represents withdrawal from life. Effectively, you're a hermit in your cave, you're a hermit in your household, and now you're at peace with life, and you're at peace. You're ready to die, effectively. I myself am a 9 life path, and I'm bloody exhausted, so maybe that has to do with something, a yearning for death, almost. Now, the Fool has gone, he's run the full gamut of life. 0 to 9. It's a very impressive run he's had. I could go into further depth, but at this rate, I give away too much value on YouTube, too much free value, so if you want to book a private reading, you can. The link is down below. I've lowered prices for everyone on YouTube because I do know people were saying that Corona has hit them quite hard. But otherwise, I thank you. I ask that you hit that like and subscribe button. Again, click the link down below. And if you want to learn more about, if you want more guidance, learn more about tarot, you can click our channel. You can watch our videos there. And I thank you guys. I love you. Have a fantastic day, and we will talk soon.